All right, I want to bring in Wayne Redekop now. He's the mayor of Fort Erie, Ontario. He's also part of the Border Mayors Alliance. Mr. Mayor, good morning, and thanks for being with us.
Thanks very much, Marcia.
What are you hearing from members of your community about the implementation of these tariffs?
So when you live on the border, typically there are great relationships, not only friendships, but frequently family relationships. And those are built up over decades. In the case of Fort Erie and Buffalo, a couple of centuries. So what we're hearing really is a lot of disbelief, a sense of betrayal, concern about the uncertainty that lies ahead, but certainly a strong strain of Canadian patriotism. And so we're like most other Canadians, we're not going to give in to a bully.
Yeah, and as you rightly point out, there's a lot of betrayal, a sense of betrayal, hurt, anger. But when it comes down to brass tacks, how do you anticipate the tariffs to impact your businesses? As you point out, and for our viewers across the country who may not know, you are right there on the border. Americans and Canadians go back and forth all day. Some work on the other side of the border. What do you think the impact of these tariffs will be on the local economy?
It'll be a big impact. The Peace Bridge between Fort Erie and Buffalo is one of the major arteries for the transportation of goods between the two countries, and there is a heavy flow of passenger vehicles back and forth. So we have over 50 businesses in our community that export to the United States. Some of them as much as 75, 80, 90% of their product to the United States. We employ about 1,700 people through those businesses. In Niagara, it's about 30,000 people, over 600 businesses. It's about $6 billion in trade from Niagara to the United States. And again, about 75% of the product goes to the U.S. So all of the businesses, large and small, are trying to figure out how they're going to navigate this. Some of the larger businesses that are better financed have an ability to manage this a bit longer. Some of the smaller ones, are concerned about whether they can even continue on in business. Some of them, if they have the ability, are looking at trying to set up some type of shop, even if it's temporarily in the United States. Others have the capacity to do that because they already have a presence in the United States. So for a temporary basis, they'll do that. But all of the businesses seem to be quite interested in maintaining their operations in Canada, in trying to maintain employment for their workers as long as possible, and seeing this through. The difficulty is we have no idea what that means. We have no idea when the president's advisor says the U.S. might want to meet Canada halfway. What the heck's halfway? We don't even know where the beginning is or where the end is. Yeah. And what it's really highlighted is we cannot now, going forward, rely upon the United States to be there as a partner, as an ally in the long term. We have to stand up and make sure that we can manage our own economy and our own sovereignty.
Yeah, the goalposts do keep moving. So to your last point then, do you think that it's going to take a while for the scars to go away? What do you think of Canada-U.S. relations going forward?
I think there's a great affinity person to person. I think that, even listening to some of the Republican commentators from Erie County or Western New York, who bought into the administration's view of the world, that's one thing. There are lots of people who didn't vote for Trump. There are lots of people who did vote for Trump and don't understand what the heck he's doing. So on a personal level, I think those relationships will continue. But from a business perspective, how do you put all of your eggs in a basket when you don't know whether the basket is going to be tipped over tomorrow or the next day or whenever? So that is going to create long-term strain. And as people start to lose their jobs, as they're laid off or they lose their jobs because of this, that's going to make feelings, I think, harsher towards our American neighbors. And that's unfortunate because it's been a 2+ century relationship that has developed marvelously over the years, and it's just hard to fathom why someone would essentially go next door, punch their neighbor in the head, and say, I don't like your fence, I'm going to take it down, and I'm going to take over your backyard.
Wayne Redekop is the mayor for Fort Erie. He's also part of the Border Mayors Alliance. Mr. Mayor, really glad that you could come on and chat with us this morning.